Okay. Hi, guys. If I just wanted to kind of introduce you, or you can introduce yourselves. So your names, maybe tell us your dogs, their names and ages.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Mark. Last name's Hotmayer. We have two dogs, Scrappy and Oliver.
And Scrappy is 12 and Oliver is now 5 months.
Yes. And what breed of dog is Oliver?
He's a Parsons Russell Terrier.
Oh man, I keep saying Jack Russell. I must.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Parsons Jack Russell.
Parsons Jack Russell, I think is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you originally decided that you guys were going to get a puppy, what was it that made you decide you wanted to bring in the help of, some dog training assistance?
Well, we knew this was a long-term commitment, so I wanted to make sure that we had the proper training in the beginning.
Awesome. Yes. Make it a little easier on yourself.
Yeah.
Overall.
And like Lisa said, this is a long-term commitment for us and for Oliver. I think you too. We've never had a puppy. So no, I did not know how to do this before. Clearly.
Yeah. You guys had adopted older dogs in the past, if I remember correctly there.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
So when you first started working with us, what was the main challenges that you were having with Oliver?
Probably a lot of it is controlling his activity, because he's a very hyper dog. Takes a lot of energy. So probably trying to rein that in a little bit and learning when to let him be himself, and then trying to set some parameters so he's not so, out of control all the time and nippy.
Yeah, I feel like that is definitely true. That hyper energy and nippiness and all that good stuff that comes with puppyhood. I remember that he was a little challenging too with the house training, I think in the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while now, right?
Yes.
It's been a
much
while.
better now.
He's a very smart dog. He's a very smart dog, which I think is enjoyable. You get to see that. But I think it was smart. I mean, he was so young when you saw him that he was experiencing things for the first time a lot. So it was better to learn it right the first time than from us and have to be corrected.
Exactly. And I feel like I remember too, wasn't he kind of fearful initially with all the sounds going on in your neighborhood?
Yeah, we have a lot of construction here, so he was very scared. He was scared to go outside to even go pee.
Yeah.
He'd start, and then he'd get startled, and then it'd be like, okay. And he wouldn't even go outside. He just kept trying to run inside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a big challenge.
Yeah, it's so easy now to look at him now and feel, or at least, for me, and see such a change. So because you guys did the option that included the sleepaway camp. So what do you feel like, if you kind of think back to that, what was life like after he came back? What was a difference that you saw?
It was much more routine. And we did notice that he was a lot calmer. And he listened, he knew his name, he listens. We kept him on a routine, and he was just a different dog. I mean, it was.
That's right there. Week to week, it was a different dog, from maturity to understanding to calmness. Week to week, he should have written more letters, but week to week, it was a different dog that came home.
Wonderful. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, he definitely learned a lot, and I think he's a fun little guy to work with personally.
Yeah.
So yes. Okay. So in terms of improving those challenges that you came to the table with, the hyper and the really, I'm thinking even about that fear. How does that look now versus where it was in the beginning?
I'd say a lot of it is gone. He still does get fearful going down the street because of the construction and things like that. But I've also learned how to distract him and to keep him busy. I've been trained of how to deal with it. We've been trained of how to handle it and try to get him, get his attention so he's not so fearful. Sometimes, yes, he'll stop, and we do have to take a minute or turn around and go home if it's really noisy and there's a lot of big trucks.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, we've all learned, he's learned, we've learned how to kind of break that and get him moving forward.
Wonderful. Good. Okay. And then, so my last question for you guys is, what would you tell someone who's considering coming on board with my services for Goldstar Puppy Academy with their puppy?
Do what she tells you to do. Do what you tell us to do. And you got to stick with it because it works. It does, and it works.
Yeah.
It's consistency. Yeah, it's just being consistent with the dog.
It's a great opportunity.
it really
It's
is.
a great opportunity that if you're able to do it for yourself and for your dog, it's the right thing to do.
Awesome.
It is. It's
Mhm. Yeah, it's thank
night
goodness.
and day.
Yes, thank goodness.
You know, he's able to learn something after one training session. I guess it's obvious it takes us 2 or 3 times to learn the same thing, but it's a lot of our training. That's what it is more than anything else.
Yes, and we have to learn how to react or not react to.
Your insight, I guess that's the thing is whether it's these calls or like after you left today or whatever, it's like, you know, makes sense, common sense.
Yeah. In the puppy world, in the dog world. As
Yeah.
opposed to like, we're like, why is he doing that? Why can't he do this? And
Yeah.
you're like, well, this is why. And you're like, oh, okay. I got it now. Makes sense. Okay.
And the working dog, and you're paying them and they're earning their pay, I think is a great theory. I think that works great. Not so much that it gets them to do things any better, but I look at that as that's why I want them to work so hard. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Give him a job.
Yeah.
Or he's going to find his own and you may not like it.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time on your this evening to kind of chat with me a little bit here. And I'll hope and cross fingers that he keeps losing teeth all weekend. And pretty soon we'll have a mouthful of big boy teeth.
He only has one more canine left.
Yeah, those are the ones that hurt the worst too.
Yeah,
these
aren't
accidentally
sharp.
get you.
The new ones are not as sharp, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and Scrappy will be happy about that too. So.
Yeah.